Hi, I'm Esteban, and I'm excited to tell you we have cut 6 spine courses into 3. So we have combined the thoracic spine course with the cervical-thoracic junction and thoracic outlet course together into one. And this is really exciting. The thoracic spine is fascinating to me. When I was in physical therapy school, we didn't even mention the thoracic spine at all. And when I'm in the clinic, a lot of my patients have thoracic pain or thoracic dysfunctions. That is one stiff area. So when you have a really stiff area like the thoracic spine, we need a lot of techniques to work on getting it loosened up. We need to give them exercise to keep it loosened up. So by combining the course and taking a lot of the lecture material online, we have more time to get good at your manual techniques during the course. So my goal is to teach you as many of the common pain generators in the thoracic spine, not the ones that I saw 15 years ago. I saw this one interesting case, but the ones that we see all the time. You're going to get really good at diagnosing those, have a clear plan on how to treat those, and give self-management strategies and exercises. I want you to have time to get good manual skills. We're going to spend more time in labs developing your skills and switching partners and getting good on different size patients and feeling different collagen types. Some patients have really stiff collagen and some people are hypermobile. Everyone have different collagen. I want you to feel that. We're going to spend time saying, hey, Susie over here has a hypermobility of that segment, so you can all feel that. And Joe over here has a really stiff spine. Feel the difference, and let's work on strategies and how we're going to work on them and treat them differently. Our ultimate goal at the IAOM is to help make you a more complete clinician. Because when you are, it makes the clinic so fun. I love new patients. I love the challenge of figuring things out. And I love the daily ins and outs of working with patients, progressing them here in their lives, and helping them improve their quality of life. And I want the courses to be fun. I think they're going to be less overwhelming the way we're reformatting them, so we have more time for breaks and manual skills. And hey, trust me, I've had these courses. I think I've had them all 4 times. They can sometimes be overwhelming. We're going to be changing that so they're not as intense during the live course. Still a lot of good material, but there's going to be a lot taken out for the online portion that you'll still have access to before the course. Please watch all the online content before the course. You'll get more out of each course when you do that, but you'll also have access to the material after the course. How great is that? So our live course time is going to be very valuable, and you'll get a lot from the courses. We've updated the thoracic exam, so you have the full thoracic exam. We took out some tests, and we added in the cervical-thoracic junction mobility test and some thoracic outlet tests. Some course highlights: you're going to learn how to diagnose muscle strains, an internal disc disruption of the thoracic spine that is very, very common for thoracic pain. But it's rarely just one thing. It's often alongside some costotransverse joint arthropathy or thoracic facet synovitis. So you're going to learn how to find combinations of pains, because those often go together, especially in the thoracic spine. And I hired an illustrator, so we have nice illustrations of the pathologies, so you have better understandings of them, and you'll have handouts that you can help the patients understand what's going on, but not to freak them out, to decrease their fear and anxiety and have a nice set plan on how they're going to help themselves heal. And there's a new study. I love this slide. I've put it in almost all my lectures now. So if you've seen any of these other introduction videos, this is the same slide. But a new study just came out, and it talked about patients want a diagnosis. The IOM has been saying that for 30 years. Patients want a diagnosis. I hear it all the time in the clinic. That's one of the things they want is, what's wrong with me? Why do I hurt? Why do they have these symptoms? And they want a prognosis. How long is it going to take for me to get better? That's what they want. And they want some treatment options. And they want to know self-management strategies. I see it in the clinic every day. We've been advocating that for years, Here's a no study that supports it. And we're going to do case studies. I personally love case studies. So for the last 15 years that I've been teaching for the IOM, I've been building more and more case studies and making them more real-life case studies instead of here's 3 positive tests, what do you think it is? But you get the full history, you get the full exam, and that makes it a little tricky to interpret, but you will be able to figure these out during the course. And just in case you're not, we are starting to do voiceover PowerPoints so you can watch us, or you can listen for us to go through each of the case studies. We're just doing a couple for now, but our goal is to get as many as we can so you can hear our thought process going through the exam and the interpretation, and we even have slides on the treatment that we're going to do for each patient. Remember, when we do our exam, I want you to break your brain in two and start thinking, I want to find the pain generator, but not just the pain generator. I want you to think about dysfunctions. And for your dysfunctions, I want you to start thinking about soft tissue dysfunctions, the segment, so what's wrong with the joints, the disc, the nerves. And then I want you to think about biopsychosocial. When you're talking to that patient, do you see any signs that they're depressed or anxious? And as you go through the history form, do they circle depression, anxiety? Do you see that their fear of bending? I have patients that say, okay, bend forward like you're going to touch your toes. No, that might hurt. They have so much fear they won't even do it for you. So you want to start taking notice of those biopsychosocial adaptations, and we're going to start giving you strategies of how to address those, because that is really important for your chronic pain patients. And we're going to look at sensory-motor control and just overall general exercise and give you a 10-stage handout of some ideas of how to progress patients. It's not a cookbook. You can do whatever you want with patients, but sometimes it helps to have some ideas of where to start and how to progress. So we're going to share that with you. We're going to do a lot of soft tissue mobilization because that area gets a lot of muscle spasms. We're going to teach you axial separation techniques for a direct technique to influence discogenic pain. We're going to teach you joint mobilizations for the facet joints, for the ribs, the upper ribs, and the cervicothoracic region. We're going to go through neural flossing, different ways to floss the nerves, and give you handouts that you give patients, and also give you some strategies on when to start flossing, how long to floss, and ways to progress your neural flossing. And then I've taken new photos and made little moving GIFs for some of them so you can start seeing the techniques more clearly, and we use those photos for a lot of the handouts we're going to share with you. There's our 10-stage program that you see there, and then here's some of the self-management handouts that you get with the course. And then there might be also a separate feature where you can purchase the 10-stage program with all of the exercises as handouts. And we sell that separately, not to make more money, but it takes me a couple of years to design the program, take photos, update it, make every handout, have an editor look at it. So that's going to be a separate purchase, and then we're going to have a few, maybe 5 to 10 of the main techniques that we want you to know, and have a handout with nice photos of it, enlarged pictures, the anatomy, and so just have a small little price for these technique handouts to help remind you, if it's 3 months after the course, how to do that one technique. And remember, these are hybrid courses, so there's going to be a lot of online material that we expect you to watch before the course, but you'll also have time to watch it after the course. So if you got overwhelmed watching it and you were trying to fit it all in the work week and you didn't get all of the background knowledge, you could go back the next week and do it. You could do it 3 months later and watch it. And so what that allows us to do is during the course, it shortens up the lecture times. It gives us more time for manual therapy, more time to discuss case studies. We could do live case studies if you got pain in that region. I love performing live case studies because people have pain. They're at a thoracic course, they go, hey, I got pain there, and you get to figure it out and know how to do it. When I was just a student, I started taking these courses, I got thoracic pain 2 weeks before the course. It felt like a knife in my back. I went to my instructors at school, no one could figure out what it was. But if I took a deep breath or coughed, I'd get a sharp pain in my back. Went to the course, knew they could diagnose it easily. I know the treatment strategy. It was better the next day. It was so fascinating. So I love doing live case studies to help you out in the course, but also just so you can put together all the information and see how the exam goes, the interpretation goes, the explanation of the diagnosis, and the delivery of plan of care. That's what we hope to do during these courses, so I hope to see you there.